like to view for the last time, I ask that you come and do so right now. If anybody would like to view for the final time, please come down.
Is the mic, can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. I'd like to welcome you to the celebration of the life of Claudette Lorraine Smith Brown, fondly known as Iya Maimuna. For those of you who know her, you know that she loved Africa to her core. She not only wore African clothes and wore the aesthetic of Africa, but she lived it in her heart. That is why it is paramount that we honor her in the traditions in which she chose to embrace in her life. She was devoted to voodoo, Haitian voodoo, and the Yoruba spiritual traditions. And so we bless her transition and all of you in the name of the Loa, the Orisha, Egbe, and the ancestors. I'm going to open with a quick prayer. It's just a reverence to all of the deities and entities that bless us on a daily basis. I give reverence to you, God Olodumare, He who spreads all over the universe. We give reverence to the dawn, to the sunrise. We give reverence to the sunsets. We give reverence to Mother Earth. We give reverence to Orunmila. We give reverence to Yemanja. We give reverence to Ogun. We give reverence to the 200 deities on the right side. We give reverence to the 200 deities on the left side. We give reverence to the Orunmila. We give reverence to Akoda. We give reverence to Asheda. We give reverence to the chief of all Babalaos and Iyanifas worldwide. We give reverence to the mothers. We give reverence to our ancestors. We give reverence to our fathers. We give reverence to our mothers. We give reverence to Oluo Chiforesa. We give reverence to our Ojibona. We give reverence to our Yemfa Elibuebon. We give reverence to all who have performed and sacrificed rites successfully before me. I come to you on behalf of Claudette Lorraine Smith Brown, daughter of LaBlanche B. Bell Knighton Smith. She was truly been blessed with the wealth of good children and good grandchildren. I pray for her easy transition, for her smooth passage to heaven. I pray that the ancestors freely accept her into their community. I pray that death stops with Iya, and not anyone follow her to the heavenly realms, that her and her family, her community, will not be disrupted by her death. I pray that she has peace and she is able to rest. I pray that Iya Maimuna has gone home to rest from all of the work that she has done on this earth. I pray the work that she has put into people, her children, her grandchildren, and into the community will not be in vain, but will come to fruition and sustain her family for generations to come. I pray that she would be a protection to her family and continues to support them so that they prosper and have full lives. I pray that Tony, Greg, and her grandchildren always remember her, honor her, and are forever blessed and rewarded for doing so. I pray for the spiritual stability of the family and that they remain grounded in their spiritual traditions, following the tenets of the family religious traditions. I pray that they remain close and continue to support each other. I pray for their continued growth, development, prosperity, and success in all of their endeavors. I pray that they live as their mother and grandmother lived, by treating people well and not mocking people. I pray that the Orisha remove any struggles or difficulties from their lives. May they always be victorious and know the sweetness of life. Ashio. Now we will have prayers and remarks by Mambo Marie-Lourdes Simeon. The Obituary by Dwayne Smith Montgomery, followed by a solo by Ernest Jackson.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dwayna Montgomery. I'm actually the niece of Claudette. She's the youngest sister of my father. As we turn to the obituary, Claudette Smith Brown began her earthly journey on June 28, 1949. And on January 9, 2023, she began her journey home. She was a longtime resident of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Diti, Nene, Mairumba, Muma was affectionately known for 73 years old and was a native of New Orleans. Of all the names she was affectionately known by, Nene was the name she was most proud of. She was Nene to whomever was receptive to nurturing and love, but first and foremost to the 6 young souls that were her grandkids. To know Nene was to know she loved her grandkids. A love of Africa was her center, and it manifested into devotion for Haitian voodoo and Yoruba spiritual traditions, variations of ancestors through her genealogy research, her connection to Africans, whether traveling to Senegal or welcoming them in her home, and her service to various cultural communities and organizations. She was a true culture bearer. She was educated in Orleans Parish and East Baton Rouge Parish public schools and received her high school diploma in 1967 from Scotlandville Senior High School. She pursued a career in beauty and hair care and received her cosmetology license from Delgado Community College in the mid-1980s. Later in life, while serving as her mother's primary caregiver, she attended Southern University, and in 2005, she acquired her bachelor's degree in history and was the 2005 recipient of the Roscoe E. Leonard Memorial History Award. In 2007 and 10, she acquired her master's degree in history and her master's degree in museum studies, respectively. Over the past 5 decades, Claudette's talents and career paths have included, but not been limited to, being a shipping and receiving clerk at the Port of New Orleans, safety officer for Federal Express in Memphis, Tennessee, real estate agent for Summit Realty in Atlanta, Georgia, barber and beautician at His and Hers Barber Shop in New Orleans, Louisiana, owner-operator of the Golden Pyramid Barber Shop and Beauty Salon in New Orleans, Louisiana, administrative assistant for the Southern University Law Library in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and owner-operator of the Ancestry Journey, LLC in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She was the daughter of LeBlanche B. Bell Knighton Smith and Joseph A. Mills Smith Sr., and the granddaughter of Lizzie Spill Knighton, Dawson J.W. Knighton, Melvin Washington Smith, and Howard Smith. She will be remembered and missed by her 2 sons, Torrin Anthony Crockett of Zachary, Louisiana, Gregory Diego Smith of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 6 grandchildren, Jalen Kayon Crockett, Traylon Anthony Crockett, Braylon Leonard Crockett, all of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, my angel, Ariana Alexander, Precious Journey Alexander, George Joseph Alexander, all of Jackson, Mississippi. A very special sister-in-law, Charlotte Smith of Port Hudson, and a host of nieces, nephews, and special friends saddened by her leaving. She will be preceded in death by her son, Johnny D. Brown III, her parents, LeBlanche Bell Knighton Smith and Joseph A. Mills Smith Sr., a brother, Joseph E. Smith Jr., a sister, Mary Louise Pitts Tucker, and a nephew, Aubrey Pitts Jr., and a host of other ancestors. Thank you.
Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. God has spoken. So let the church say amen. I'm indeed honored to be here on Claudette's homegoing celebration, because she was a dear friend, and she was also a classmate in Scotlandville. I graduated a year ahead of her, but she and my wife, Veronica, were very close. And I know she had Christian Tony. And Claudette would come by the house all the time. And she loved Africa. Well, we know we are African descendants, you know. And but she was really into the African culture and everything. And I admired her for that. But we all gonna get the calling, y'all. So we came from the Father. And to the Father we must all return. That's why I like in the Bible when it says absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So, you know, she's in good hands right now. January the 9th, when the Lord sent the angel to go and get her, she just came on home. She transitioned away from me. She's through with the trouble of this world. But there's a whole lot of trouble going on in this world. And I can think of her saying, soon I will be done with the trouble of the world, the trouble of the world, the trouble of this world. Soon I will be done with the trouble of the world. I'm going home to live with my Lord. No more weeping and no more crying. No more weeping, no more crying. No more weeping and no more crying. I'm going home to live with my Lord. No more waiting and no more watching. No more waiting. There will be no more watching. No more waiting and no more watching. I'm going home to live with my Lord. And on the night she said, soon I will be done with the trouble of the world, the trouble of the world, the trouble of this whole world. Soon I will be done with the trouble of the world. I'm going home to live with my Lord. It's a rest, Claudette.
This is difficult. Many of you know that, and some of you don't. I'm standing here before you because I was like a daughter to my Mona. I'm going to start with a song for her. And this is a song of gratitude, which is one of the principles she lived by. It's just saying, many times I talk to people, they said she was grateful to the ancestors, right? Her grandchildren would always say she's grateful to the ancestors. And so this song is about gratitude. Àwa dúpẹ́, àwa gbúre, àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa gbúre, a dúpẹ́ àná o, a ó gbórí tòníbò, Olódùmarè. Àwa dúpẹ́, àwa gbúre. Àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa gbúre. A dúpẹ́ àná o, a ó gbórí tòníbò. Orí ẹni àwa dúpẹ́, àwa gbúre. Àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa gbúre. A dúpẹ́ àná o, a ó gborí tòníbò. Irúnmọlẹ̀ àwa dúpẹ́, àwa gbúre. Àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa gbúre. A dúpẹ́ àná o, a ó gborí tòníbò. Lẹ́gùn lọ́sà àwa dúpẹ́, àwa gbúre. Àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa gbúre. A dúpẹ́ àná o, a ó gborí tòníbò. Ọ̀rúnmìlà àwa dúpẹ́, àwa gbúre. Àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa gbúre. A dúpẹ́ àná o, a ó gborí tòníbò. Tuyemaja àwa dúpẹ́, àwa gbúre. Àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa gbúre. A dúpẹ́ àná o, a ó gborí tòníbò. Yeye Ògún àwa dúpẹ́, àwa gbúre. Àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa gbúre. A dúpẹ́ àná o, a ó gborí tòníbò. Àwa dúpẹ́, àwa gbúre. So I'm going to speak to you a little bit from Osa Altura. You also hear me say Osa Alawo, because I want to speak to you about truth, which is also a principle that Maimuna lived by. And in this verse it talks about truthfulness is the ability to speak all of those words which after verification are found to be as they were spoken. The speaking of those words which are constant without changing, that is what truthfulness is. According to Osa Alawo asks, what is truth? I also ask, what is truth? Truth is the priest in heaven that protects the world. Orunmila declares that truth is the unseen force that protects the world. Osa Alawo asks, truth is the wisdom which Olodumare applies. Osa Alawo asks again, what is truth? I ask, what is truth? Orunmila declared that truth is the character of God. Truth is the unchanging word. Ifa is the truth. Truth is the indestructible word. Truth is the power of all powers, everlasting blessings. These were the declarations of Ifa to the inhabitants of the earth. They were advised to be truthful at all times. Be truthful. Be honest. He who is truthful, the deity will support. Ifa is essentially saying that anyone who is truthful is emulating God. So for those of you who know Iya Maimuna, you know why this verse is so apropos. She stood on solid ground because she stood on truth. She did not care who agreed and who didn't agree, right? She stood on truth, and she had no problem letting anybody know it. She was fearless in standing in her truth. She was unwavering in standing on truth. To her, right was right and wrong was wrong. She did not pick sides, but to live on the side of truth. No matter how hard the truth was. That's where she stood. I want to share more about her as well, but I didn't want to share just from my own perspective. I have my own perspective because I lived many, many years with Maimuna, going to the shop and, back on Broad and going to different festivals and celebrations. And so I lived a life with her. But I thought it would be important to also capture the many different perspectives and lenses of Maimuna, not only from my perspective, but that of her children and grandchildren and the community and all of her loved ones. So in having those dialogues along the way in this journey in the last few weeks that we've worked together to make this homegoing as beautiful as it is, I captured some common themes that I want to share that I gleaned from the various loved ones who have shared their thoughts and their hearts in this process. She had an extensive knowledge of Africa and a quest for learning. She was a community professor. She wanted all to know and be proud of their African heritage. Intelligent, insightful. She expanded the horizons of those around her. And I will share a personal story there because it came to mind this morning when someone asked me about Magele. And I remember being a teenager at the shop and that she lived above. And in that, she had a lot of beautiful African clothes, and I wanted to see them. I wanted to know what that was like. And she let me wear one of her outfits. And it was the first time I ever wore African clothes. It was because of Maimuna. But the beauty in it was, I saw myself for the first time. I saw myself. I saw my own beauty. I saw Africa in me. She gave me that. She let me see how beautiful I was in my own aesthetic. And I never looked back. She was always welcoming to the community, a giver, a helper to others. She opened her home to many and gave them comfort and welcomed them as a mother to everyone. She was organized and professional, diligent in the delivery of her services to many executives, attorneys, and other professionals. She did not make excuses. There was nothing she could not do. She was a stern and loving disciplinarian. She had her own brand of tough love, and I've been on the receiving end of that tough love, so I know that it is something special to behold. But she was respectful, and she demanded respect. She was humble and righteous, not egotistical. She was grateful and appreciative for all that she had and received, whether it was big, whether it was small. She showed her appreciation. She lived by gratitude. And she was most thankful to the ancestors. She was full of joy and made people happy. She and her grandchildren would always had a good time together, even when it was tough. Everything was good when they were with her. She put a lot of time into them. They have great memories of times and travels to New Orleans and other places. She taught them to be free thinkers, and how to navigate this world. She was their safe haven and always made them a priority. And so this lets you know how she showed up. She showed up for her family. She showed up for her community, as you can see the many who are showing up for her today. She was loved by many. I will wrap this up by saying that we did special prayers and rites for Maimuna, and one of the Odu that fell for her was Ejiogbe. And in the description of her, Ifa said, described her life, her living as she lived as a queen, that she had the heart of a queen, and that many of her wishes were largely fulfilled. She was happy to move on. The children, you are advised that it is her wish that you continue to embrace the traditions of your forefathers and your foremothers. Although she has departed this realm, please hear me that she has not forgotten you. She has not forgotten you. She will continue to be there for you. She still has her eye on you and on your family property. Y'all know what that means. That family property was very important to her. But you can easily invoke her spirit and pray to her, and she will answer you because she's with you. She lives with you, and she will continue to do so from heaven. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts about Iya Maimuna. And I respectfully just want to say I'm honored to be here, to say and to share who she was as a person. And I hope I did her justice. So I want to move on to acknowledgments. First, I would like to acknowledge any other priests that are in the audience, to acknowledge you if you would like to stand. Any other priests would like to? Yes. Bye-bye.
Mr. Gregory D. Smith.
Okay. Yes. Any others? I know there are other priests in the room. Thank you. Greetings. Anyone else? Okay. Yes.
Smith, she was my baby before I was married.
Yes, ma'am.
I met sister-in-law and mom.
Yes, ma'am.
She was my baby.
Yes, ma'am. So I would also like to acknowledge her sisters. I don't know if y'all know, but Maimuna has a force called her sisterhood. And we should give them deference and respect. So I would like to, of people who counted yourself as her sisters, Would you please at least stand to be acknowledged? Thank you for being the force in her life and in this moment. Also, the family would like to thank you and all of those who have given flowers and made donations to the Hope for Haitian Children Foundation, which was truly a testament of her life. One of the ladies said to me that foundation wouldn't be standing if it wasn't for Maimuna. With that, I would like to give family members a chance. We're going to start with remarks, and I would like to start with any family members who would like to make any remarks. Anyone? It's okay if you don't. It's okay if you do.
How y'all doing, everybody? Thank y'all, first of all, for coming. It's been a long journey. My mom was tired. She was sick, going through a lot. I thank God, y'all. I don't know. Everybody has their own beliefs. Hey, I'm not tripping on anything. But see, I know the one true God, the Most High Yah, yes, right. There is no God besides him. He needs no help. He needs no he alone is God. No attributes besides knowing that he is the Most High. He stands alone, he sits on the throne alone. Christ Yahweh sits at the right hand of the Father. Angels in glory rejoice. I rejoice because I said thank you. Thank you. When I talked to God about this situation, because I knew the day was coming, he told me, Greg, you cannot be upset at this time and not be thankful for the time that I've given you. So my grandmother passed pretty much the same way. I'm at home with her too. Christ came to me. That's why I can stand here before you today, because this is something that I know. This is not something anybody told me. Christ came to me and told me that my grandmother was fighting with him to stay with me. So after I told my grandmother, I said, well, Mom, I said, he told me, he said he got me, Mom. My grandmother, she expired. Since that day, I've been saying thank you. I'm saying all this just to say one thing, y'all. After my grandmother passed, I looked to the east, and I looked to heaven, and I said, thank you. That's all I could say. That's it. Thank you. And that's all you can do, man. Thank God for every day, what you have. Love the people that you're now, and take care of them. God said, if you love him, feed the sheep. Good shepherds take care of the flock. So thank my mother for everything, for his life. That without her would not be. And I just want to let her know that we're not finished. We still have a lot of work to do. We'll get the work done, and then I'll be on my way home.
Anyone else?
That's it? Okay. Stacey Andrews?
Hi.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Stacey Andrews. And I met Maimuna at her shop, the Golden Pyramid on Broad Street, between Ursuline and St. Philip's. We saw a help wanted sign on the door, so I went in. I was given more than an opportunity at a time in my life when I needed something to focus my creativity and my attention in doing that would raise my vibration. And she accepted me. At the Golden Pyramid, we were more than co-workers. We all got along like sisters. The interpersonal mutual affection was a strong bond that has lasted us 33 years. Maimuna introduced me to her beloved Torin and Greg, her mother, father, and many of you here from the Conscience community. Most of us know how she always displayed speaking your truth and standing in it, no matter who agrees or not. We shared a love for researching information on subjects of us as melanated people and spirituality. So much so that Mark and I traveled to Kemet to bask in the greatness of our people who look like us. I want to thank you, my friend, Maimuna, for sowing so many good seeds in my life that took root and helped me grow. Thank you for all your support. I will say your name, pour libations, burn ancestor money, whatever. From all of us at the Golden Pyramid, Alita Diaz and Leslie Patterson, we love you deeply, sis. Thank you for being more than a sister and a friend. Ashe, Ma'arotep, Alhamdulillah, Ahor, Amen.
Mariama Curry.
Monica, you said everything I wanted to say, girl. I don't need no microphone.
Okay. Take your mask off though so people can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, do that.
So, Maimuna and I met on the dancing, African dancing. Everybody's talking about how she was into African culture, right? Well, I am too. And so we knew where we were from. We knew the work that we had to do. And we did it. And we would talk about Africa all the time because that's where our heart is. The one thing y'all two didn't mention, she went to Southern and I went to the Jackson State University. And so we had that rivalry among us, right? And every time we would come here to Baton Rouge to play Southern, she hung out with the Jackson State University. We didn't tell that story.
What much too?
But she loved Southern, and I was very proud of her when she started working at the law center at Southern University. I was very proud. I was like, girl, get that job and handle it up. And of course, you guys know she ran that law center. She ran that law center, all right? So I would always come up to Southern and see her in the law center. But the first thing she would say is, girl, where you going with that on? Girl, read it real good. The Jackson State University. But we had that in common, and we would always have fun with each other with that. But you talked about her truth. And she and I had that really, really bad. We always talked about truth. And I'm a person, I'm going to keep it 100 with you, whether you like it or not. And sometimes I can be wrong. But 9.5 times, I'm not wrong, right? So we would talk about truth all the time. We would talk about community, because community to us is very important. Our people, to us, their destiny, the things that they do, where they need to go, was very important to us. Telling the history about who we were. We stood on that really, 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 really strong. Because we wanted people to know that we have our people at home and we have people here.
And there's a huge divide between the two of us. And that divide is not brought among us. That divide is brought among the European people. And so it was very important that we merge those two lives together. That our children knew who they were and from whence they came. That our ancestors knew, and even our peers knew who we were and from whence they came. I have a son, and she loved my son's grandfather. She loved him. She would call him Big A. And she called and say, girl, Big A came in his Corvette and picked up Namdi, and all I could do was stand in the door and smile. And I said, okay, girl, it's all good. But she took care of my son like her own, her and Greg, Diego. Because my son used to call Gregory Diego to pick him up from school and bring him to Maimuna's home. And Maimuna would feed him and take care of him like her own. She was that type of a person. She was communal. She made sure her community had what they needed to have when they needed to have it. We would dress up in African clothes. We spoke about African clothes. We would dress up in African clothes because that's what we like to do. Put on them fine African clothes and walk around that French Quarter, and people would say, y'all sisters sure look good. And we would look at each other and start smiling and say, get to where we are. But that's how she was. You talked about truth. You also talked about sharing. She was a person who shared. We came to your house in many a day and age. Many a day and age, right? Auntie, house full of people, eating, cooking. That's what we did. Sitting down on the floor with your right hand eating out of that bowl, because that's community. That's community. And those are the types of things that we did. Those are the types of things that Maimuna tried to influence on the community, that they understood who they were and from whence they came. And so that connection that she had with me is very, very strong. I am going to miss her not pulling up to my door in that car with that Southern University t-shirt on her doggone seat. Right? I am going to miss that. And I am going to miss her. So thank you guys for letting me speak and have this opportunity. But I am the Jackson State University.
The Jackson State. Southern in the building. Southern University.
But you know what? It's all HBCU love.
Yes.
One of the things you said to me, Mariama, that I think would be, a testament to her is the quality of work that she did. You mentioned that she made costumes for Kulu years and years ago, and that they still stand today. Decades old work that she did, that they still use. I thought that. Mama Edith Pennington, one of her oldest friends. That's how I got to meet Mama Maimuna, because Mama Edith and her oldest daughter is one of my best friends from high school, and so then that's how I met Mama Maimuna.
Mm-hmm. And I know her mama too.
Yes.
It was hard for me to decide what to tell you all about Claudette, because Claudette and I were friends over 55 years. Now, to give you an idea of how long ago, way back in the day, we could drive to McDonald's in our brand new car that cost $2,800 approximately. We didn't have it, but that was the price of cars. And when we got there, after using our gas that cost 34 cents a gallon, we could get lunch, a burger, fries, and a drink for 35 cents plus tax. Now, if you wanted to go big time, you could get a Big Mac, fries, and a shake for 84 cents plus tax. So that lets you know way back where that was. Now, Claudette was a person who loved history. So I have to tell you some things that were going on at the time. The first time at an Olympics game, the Black Power salute was given with black-clad hands and bowed heads to the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. The two young men, both the bronze and the gold medalists, got kicked off the team. Does that sound like what's happening today with our athletes? Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, they were both assassinated. It was a lot of things going on that were not good. Fashion, for instance, see-through blouses, midi, maxi, and miniskirts were the style. History does repeat itself. But Claudette and I met at a friend's house at a swimming party. And from the very beginning, we hit it off big. Shortly thereafter, we started living together along with some of our other girlfriends. We had a circle of friends that went everywhere together, guys and girls. We did everything together. Some people might say now that we were wow, because we'd pile into cars with names like the Yellow Mustard and the Flower Bug, that was Claudette's, and the Flamethrower, which my husband, he was my boyfriend then, owned. And we went to Florida one time for a Southern game. It was freezing in Florida. We hardly had any money. To tell you how little we had, I think it was 12 of us in one room, one hotel room, 12. But we lived like that. We were family. If one of us had, the others of us had. Claudette would do hair even then. My hair, my kids' hair, although Cinnamon said, T-Det used to always be burning me, Mama. But Claudette has been there. We went through a lot of things together. We've been with each other through marriages, boyfriends, sickness, death, births, celebrations, Christmas, all the holidays. We've been there for each other. I could count on her, and she could count on me. She loved my family, and I loved hers. And there was no division between my husband and my time with her, because he knew her before I did. They called each other brother and sister. I'm going to miss Claudette for more ways than I can stand up here and tell you. I loved her. I'll always love her. She, as long as I have a memory and I can think clearly, I will remember Det. My kids call her T-Det, and they're here today. Somebody asked me, did your kids know Claudette? I said, all their lives, not from the very beginning. And those boys, from the very beginning. And so we'll continue to love you and support you as Claudette did with us. Anything she had, we had. If she thought I needed something and she had it, she brought it to me. We said we had a psychic connection because I could be thinking about her but not get to the phone to call her. Phone would ring. What's going on? I know I'm heavy on your mind. And I was the same way with her. So that connection in the last year, it was a little weak in transmission. And I know it was because she was ill. Sometimes she wouldn't answer the phone. And I knew why. Because she knew I was going to bug her about going to the doctor. Any of y'all know her. She didn't believe in doctors. So she wasn't going to go. She'd show up out the clear blue, call me several days previous, I'm on my way, never get there. Then all of a sudden, it's at the door. So when this house leaves, because that's all it is, the house is gone, the person will still be here. And I ain't said nothing off my paper.
We have two final people to make remarks. Is Claude Pooh in the audience? Claude, thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Claude Pooh. I am the son of Mary Jo Pooh from Hope for Haitian Children Foundation. We met Maimuna in 2007. We met her at the community bookstore in New Orleans through Vera and Mama Jennifer. And her and my mother just hit it off right away. Of course, Maimuna has her truth and plenty of knowledge from her studies and just her experiences. And they shared information, shared cultural information, and Maimuna just taught us so much. Once they hit it off, she helped my mother start her foundation, Hope for Haitian Children Foundation. Was the first secretary. She took a trip to Haiti and always talks about it like she felt at home when she went to Haiti. We appreciate everything she's done. Not only was she a great friend to my mother, but also a sister to her. She was an aunt to me. As I seen her cry, she was an aunt to many. And she was also an extended family of the Haitian community. I'm grateful that she looked out for my mother these past 14 years. I know her spirit will live on through the great memories we shared, the knowledge she shared, the love she shared in my family and the Haitian community. Most of all, I remember the many conversations and debates with her truth that we had. Whether I agreed or not, I always was enlightened by another point of view, no matter what. And that's what I love the most about her. It's always a little nugget here and there that I always walk away with some type of knowledge that she provided. We love you, Maimuna, and your spirit lives on through the many people that you've touched, the knowledge that you shared, and the great energy that you brought out to the world. May you live on forever through your kids, your grandkids, friends, family, and loved ones. You never die. Our spirit always lives on through our lives. Thank you.
I think it's important to mention how, we talked much about her community in New Orleans and in Baton Rouge and at Southern and the Golden Pyramid, but she also has full communities in Senegal and in Haiti. She has a home in Haiti that they have built for her as well. So she has global community, and that's important for us to understand and acknowledge. Last but not least, Mama Diane, would you like to say some words? Are you okay?
I don't guess I need my phone.
Whatever you prefer.
Hello, everybody. I'm a kid from the Gap Tech.
All right, now.
There's a lot I didn't know and everything, but then I met this woman at this community book center place, you know. And she was giving you the history, standing strong. And I said, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to fight. Somebody got to have her back, not knowing she had money. She was kind, generous, point blank. And she said it was there. Introduced me to who I am. Sincere, not for show. And everything you've heard today from the different people who were speaking to her of love, kindness, and wisdom. A lot of you knew her, but guess what? Never had a key to her front door. You can just go there, open the door, and go in. On Broad Street. Yeah. And I remember as a kid growing up in the Sultan area. A lot of us never Y'all don't remember Mama Diane. Mama Diane. And just thank you so much because she wasn't a talker, she was a doer. And if you want to know a little more about her, come on down there to New Orleans, go to community books, and she there. All right, God, you got it.
I couldn't have ended it any better than that. But I will also repeat, thank you for showing up for Mama Luna.
that Nene, all of the ways that we know her and loved her, and she loved us. And we will continue to honor her in our lives by living by the values that she lived by and professed to all of us. With that, we will begin our procession, our recessional out. The Kuumba Dance and Drum Collective will honor her as they honor the many ancestors that depart through the New Orleans cultural community.
Whoa!
All right, thank you. And what's your name?
Vincent.